In 1994, Stargate was born and quickly became a memorable milestone in cinematic history, boldly daring to combine science fiction with ancient mythology. More than just a movie, Stargate opened the doors to an enchanting universe where mysterious gateways connect distant worlds and reveal secrets about the origins of humanity. The film's resounding success came not only from its daring storyline or pioneering visual effects, but also from the fascinating and unexpected behind-the-scenes stories that unfolded off-camera. From the persistence of the filmmakers to last-minute changes and heated controversies, all of these elements contributed to shaping a timeless masterpiece. Let's delve into the untold secrets of Stargate, the film that launched a legend spanning nearly 3 decades. 1. James Spader once harshly criticized the script. Can you believe it? James Spader, the actor who played Dr. Daniel Jackson, the heart and soul of Stargate, once called the script a disaster. Not confusing or in need of improvement, but an outright disaster. When Spader first read the script, he felt it was a chaotic mix of cheap sci-fi and clumsy mythology. He even considered rejecting the role, thinking it would be a stain on his career. But then something miraculous happened. Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin, the brains behind the project, rewrote the script. This time, they added depth to the characters and struck a balance between mythology, science fiction, and human emotion. Spader, still somewhat skeptical, was eventually convinced. Throughout filming, Spader never stopped complaining about the dialogue, which he described as ridiculous. At one point, he refused to leave his trailer, demanding that his lines be rewritten on set. To handle the situation, Kurt Russell, Colonel Jack O'Neill, delivered a sharp, sarcastic remark. "Hey, if the dialogue were great, you'd be doing this for free. But no, you're getting paid $1 million for this." And so, Spader reluctantly returned to work. The result? He brought to life a Daniel Jackson who was skeptical, intelligent, and a little awkward, a character audiences would love for years to come. 2. The opening scene was hidden. Have you ever watched Stargate and wondered where Ra, the powerful alien god, truly came from? If you've only seen the theatrical version, you'd never know. In the director's cut, the film includes a haunting opening sequence. In an ancient village, a boy is abducted by an alien spacecraft. No dialogue, no explanation. Just the cold blue light of the ship, the roaring engines, and the boy being transformed into Ra's host. This scene not only highlighted Ra's cruelty, but also added complexity to the character. However, MGM, the studio behind Stargate, thought otherwise. They believed audiences wanted an accessible action movie, not a piece full of metaphors and philosophy. The scene was cut entirely, leaving Ra in the theatrical version as merely a flashy villain with a glittering costume. While this decision streamlined the film, it also robbed the story of some of its depth. 3. Jay Davidson and the legendary nipple ring. Jay Davidson, who played Ra, was one of the strangest characters both on screen and behind the scenes. With his androgynous appearance and piercing gaze, Davidson gave Ra an otherworldly charm, equal parts alluring and terrifying. But off-camera, he was a nightmare for the production team. Davidson struggled with substance issues and was infamous for his difficult personality. He frequently forgot his lines, forcing the crew to use cue cards to help him get through scenes. However, the most memorable story about Davidson involved a nipple ring. When asked to remove the ring to better suit Ra's costume, Davidson flatly refused. "This is part of me. If you want it gone, you'll have to adjust," he said. The result? The costume design team had to rework Ra's entire outfit to accommodate the ring. Strangely, instead of detracting from the character, the ring made Ra even more unique. It added a surreal element to his appearance, turning him into a symbol of power, eccentricity, and otherworldly beauty. Despite the trouble he caused, Davidson left an indelible mark on Stargate, both on screen and behind the scenes. 4. the 1928 excavation scene only took 3 days to shoot. The 1928 excavation scene in Stargate looks like a cinematic marvel, but did you know it only took 3 days to shoot? Don't let the grand setting of Giza fool you. This scene was actually shot in a desert in Arizona. The production team used natural lighting and clever camera angles to create the illusion of grandeur. But in reality, everything was kept as simple as possible. Even the excavation workers weren't real actors. To save costs, the crew used mannequins dressed in robes, placing them in the background to create the impression of hundreds of workers. The pyramid models weren't massive structures either. They were small sections built for close-ups. The most remarkable aspect was how the crew managed the lighting. Using large reflectors, they captured sunlight to illuminate the set, making it appear as though a monumental discovery had just been unearthed. The result? One of the most iconic opening scenes in Stargate. This showcases the production team's creativity in turning a simple scene into a cinematic classic, setting the stage for a world full of mystery. 5. Kurt Russell almost turned down Stargate. When you think of Stargate, you probably picture Colonel Jack O'Neill, a stern, strong, and deeply layered soldier. But did you know Kurt Russell almost didn't take the role? When he first received the script, he read an early draft and immediately turned it down. He thought it was just a B-grade sci-fi film, unworthy of his time. But after receiving the revised version, Russell completely changed his mind. To transform into Colonel O'Neill, Russell made a significant change. He abandoned his iconic mullet, a trademark of his previous action roles. Instead, he adopted a clean and disciplined military haircut. This change not only suited the character better, but also marked a shift in Russell's career. This wasn't just another action hero role. It was a portrayal of a soldier who had experienced loss and was searching for redemption. 6. The Arizona Desert, a grueling challenge. Imagine wearing heavy armor, a full helmet, and performing under the scorching heat of 120 degrees, nearly 50 degrees. That's exactly what the cast and crew of Stargate endured while filming in Arizona's desert. The barren, expansive beauty of Abydos in the film was, in reality, a much harsher ordeal than it seems on screen. The extreme heat forced frequent breaks to prevent heat stroke. Water supplies were constantly running low, and even the camera equipment occasionally failed due to overheating. But the biggest challenge was the sand. Every time an actor moved, footprints appeared everywhere, ruining the shot. To solve this, the crew used jet engines to erase the footprints before filming each scene. Despite the challenges, the decision to film in a real desert rather than relying on visual effects was a bold one. The natural lighting and vast open spaces brought a sense of authenticity to Abydos, making it feel more alive. This dedication paid off, giving audiences a breathtaking alien planet that felt both mysterious and real. 7. MGM and the action-focused coup. Initially, the script for Stargate leaned more toward philosophy, focusing on mythology and character development. However, MGM, the studio behind the project, wanted more than that. They demanded Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin add grand action sequences to make the film more appealing to mainstream audiences. Thus, a series of major changes were made. Ra, originally envisioned as a powerful human figure, was transformed into an alien being with supernatural powers and an eerie, electronic voice. Scenes like the battle in Abydos village, the final showdown on Ra's ship, and other intense action sequences were added. This shifted the film from a pure mythological story to a full-blown sci-fi action blockbuster. Of course, not everyone was happy with these changes, particularly Roland Emmerich, who had wanted to preserve the original script. However, MGM's demands proved to be a smart move. The explosive action scenes helped Stargate attract a broader audience and become a box office phenomenon. Sometimes, a little compromise with the studio can be the recipe for success. 8. MGM seized Stargate from its creators. If you think Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin, Stargate's creators, remained in control of the franchise after the film's success, think again. Following Stargate's massive box office earnings, MGM quickly took full control of the franchise and decided to turn the movie into a television universe. This decision infuriated Emmerich and Devlin, who had envisioned Stargate as the first installment of a trilogy with a clear and definitive storyline. But MGM saw greater potential in expanding the story through a TV series. Thus, Stargate SG-1 was born in 1997. The series not only became a smash hit, but also lasted for 10 years, earning its place as one of the most beloved sci-fi series of all time. Spin-offs like Stargate Atlantis and Stargate Universe followed, introducing new characters, mysterious civilizations, and thrilling adventures. Despite being taken over, the legacy of Emmerich and Devlin lived on through the TV series, captivating millions of fans worldwide. While they may have lost control, the foundation they built became the bedrock of a franchise that spanned over 2 decades. 9. The controversial copyright lawsuit. Soon after Stargate premiered and became a phenomenon, it was quickly embroiled in a high-profile copyright lawsuit. A high school teacher named Omar Zudi claimed the film had plagiarized a script he wrote in 1984 titled Egyptscape. Zudi's script also revolved around aliens and Egyptian pyramids, concepts that overlapped with Stargate's storyline. Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin denied the accusation, asserting that their idea was inspired by the German documentary Chariots of the Gods, 1970, which explored the theory of ancient alien intervention in early civilizations. The case never went to a public trial, but was settled out of court. The settlement amount was undisclosed, but the lawsuit raised questions about the creative process behind Stargate. Nevertheless, this controversy didn't affect the film's popularity. In fact, it added to the audience's curiosity, making them even more intrigued about the origins of this iconic sci-fi work. 10. A success beyond expectations and the start of an empire. When Stargate hit theaters in 1994, no one expected it to make history. With a budget of $55 million, the film grossed $196 million worldwide, shattering October box office records and becoming a commercial phenomenon. But Stargate's true success wasn't just in the numbers. The film laid the foundation for a 27-year-long sci-fi universe, including hit TV series like Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, and Stargate Universe, as well as novels, comics, and video games. Stargate wasn't just a film, it became a cultural legacy. By blending mythology and science fiction in a unique way, it sparked the imagination of millions. From an idea born during a traffic jam in Los Angeles, Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin created a legend. And despite controversies, edits, and takeovers, Stargate endures as a symbol of creativity and limitless exploration. 11. The interior shots were filmed in Long Beach Dome. Have you ever wondered where Stargate's grand interior scenes, from the military base on Earth to the inside of Abydos's pyramid, were filmed? Surprisingly, they weren't CGI creations, but were shot in a massive space called the Spruce Goose Dome in Long Beach, California. Originally built to house the legendary Spruce Goose airplane, this 135,000 square foot dome became the perfect filming location for large-scale movie sets. The production team took advantage of the dome's height and expansive space to construct enormous interior sets, such as the military base where the Stargate was operated. The actual pyramid walls, complete with hieroglyphs, were built as physical sets, allowing actors to interact directly with their environment rather than performing against green screens. The Long Beach Dome wasn't just a filming location, it played a crucial role in creating the visual grandeur of Stargate. The enormous space allowed for breathtaking interior shots that immersed viewers in a world of mystery and wonder. 12. The Stargate's water effect was created with a water tank and air cannon. The iconic effect of the Stargate activating, featuring a swirling, glowing, liquid-like surface, remains one of the film's most memorable visuals. Surprisingly, this wasn't entirely CGI. Instead, the production team used a large water tank and a specially designed air cannon to create the effect. By blasting high-pressure air into the tank, they created ripples and swirls on the water's surface. This was filmed in slow motion and later enhanced with digital effects to produce the shimmering, otherworldly liquid of the Stargate. Early attempts were challenging. The air pressure was often too strong, causing water to splash everywhere and drench the set. After multiple adjustments, the team finally perfected the technique, delivering a visual effect that still feels tangible and organic today. The combination of practical effects and digital touch-ups gave the Stargate its unique and unforgettable look. 13. Stargate's idea originated from a German documentary. The bold concept that the Egyptian pyramids weren't built by humans but by aliens made Stargate stand out. But did you know that Roland Emmerich, Stargate's director, was inspired by a German documentary called Chariots of the Gods? This 1970 documentary explored the theory that ancient civilizations, from Egypt to the Maya, were influenced by extraterrestrial visitors. While studying at a German film school, Emmerich became obsessed with this theory. He wondered, if aliens had truly visited Earth and left behind monumental structures like the pyramids, what happened to them? From this, he began crafting a story where science fiction and mythology intertwined, and a gateway to distant worlds was discovered. Not everyone was convinced by this daring idea, but it was precisely this risk and originality that made Stargate a one-of-a-kind film, sparking the imagination of millions. 14. Roland Emmerich entered Hollywood through Universal Soldier. Before becoming synonymous with blockbuster hits like Stargate and Independence Day, Roland Emmerich was just a small-time filmmaker in Germany, specializing in low-budget sci-fi films. However, his career took a significant turn when he directed Universal Soldier, 1992, an action film starring Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. Universal Soldier wasn't just a box office success. It also proved that Emmerich could combine thrilling action sequences with engaging sci-fi concepts. This success caught the attention of Hollywood, giving him and his collaborator Dean Devlin the opportunity to realize their long-held dream of making Stargate. Transitioning from small German productions to the Hollywood stage was no easy feat, but Emmerich's vision and determination paid off. With Stargate, he not only created a film for the ages, but also laid the groundwork for a career as one of Hollywood's go-to directors for large-scale blockbusters. 15. Daniel Jackson's lecture was cut down. One of the most memorable scenes in Stargate is Dr. Daniel Jackson's lecture, where he presents his theory that the pyramids weren't built by humans, but by aliens. What you might not know is that this scene was originally much longer than what made it into the final film. The original script included an extended presentation by Jackson, where he detailed the connections between constellations, Egyptian hieroglyphs, and alien technology. However, MGM worried that audiences might lose interest if the scene dragged on too long. As a result, most of the lecture was cut, leaving only the most essential points to spark curiosity. Although James Spader, who played Jackson, regretted the cuts, the decision ultimately worked in the film's favour. The shorter scene kept the film's pacing tight and engaging while still conveying the bold idea that would drive the story forward. Thanks to Spader's compelling performance, the lecture remains one of the film's standout moments, setting the stage for the mysteries to come. 16. The number of symbols on the Stargate changed. If you're a die-hard Stargate fan, you probably noticed that the number of symbols on the Stargate isn't consistent between the original film and the TV series. In the 1994 movie, the Stargate had 39 symbols, each representing a constellation used to pinpoint coordinates in space. However, when Stargate SG-1 debuted in 1997, the number of symbols was reduced to 38, with an additional point of origin symbol added to the mix. Why the change? The producers of the TV series wanted to expand the storytelling possibilities and simplify the Stargate system. The addition of the point of origin symbol made the mechanics of the Stargate more logical and allowed for the exploration of countless new planets. This seemingly small adjustment had a major impact, transforming the Stargate from a simple portal to a vast network connecting endless worlds. It opened the door for the long-running adventures of Stargate SG-1 and its spin-offs, ensuring the franchise's longevity for over 2 decades. 17. When Stargate broke October box office records. When Stargate premiered in October 1994, no one expected it to become a box office sensation. With a budget of $55 million, the film grossed an impressive $196 million worldwide, breaking records for the highest-grossing October release at the time. This was especially notable since October wasn't traditionally seen as a prime month for blockbuster films. What's even more surprising is that both MGM and critics were initially skeptical about the film's potential. While some criticised the story for being too simplistic, others praised its originality and visual spectacle. Ultimately, it was the film's combination of action, breathtaking visuals, and a mysterious storyline that captivated audiences and kept them glued to their seats for 2 hours. But Stargate's success wasn't just about box office numbers. The film's groundbreaking ideas and unique blend of mythology and sci-fi laid the foundation for one of the most enduring franchises in sci-fi history. Who could have guessed that a film MGM considered a gamble would go on to launch an empire? 18. The Stargate was originally painted black. The shimmering metallic Stargate that you see in the film wasn't part of its original design. Initially, the Stargate was painted black. Sounds cool, right? But when it was placed on set and lit up, it ended up looking like a giant tire, far from the aura of mystery and power the production team had envisioned. Realizing the problem, they made a bold decision to repaint the entire Stargate in silver. Changing the color might seem like a small tweak, but the impact was enormous. Under the studio lights, the silver paint made the Stargate gleam and shimmer, creating the impression that it was infused with cosmic energy. This not only elevated the visual appeal, but also turned the Stargate into an iconic symbol of the franchise. This is a perfect example of how small changes can make a big difference. Thanks to the silver paint, the Stargate went from looking ordinary to becoming the unforgettable centerpiece of one of sci-fi's most beloved stories. 19. When real-life special forces got involved. If you've ever been impressed by the realism of the military scenes in Stargate, that's no accident. To ensure authenticity, the production team hired real-life special forces consultants. These experts trained the actors in weapon handling, tactical movement, and military communication to help them look and act like actual soldiers. The training wasn't easy. The actors underwent rigorous sessions to learn how to hold their weapons correctly, move in formation, and even use body language to convey military discipline. The consultants also worked with the filmmakers to adjust certain scenes, ensuring that the tactics and combat strategies reflected real-world practices. The result? The military sequences in Stargate were not only exciting, but also believable, earning praise from both casual viewers and those with real combat experience. This attention to detail set Stargate apart from other sci-fi films of the time, where military elements often felt exaggerated or unrealistic. 20. Stargate, the beginning of a 27-year legacy. Stargate wasn't just a film, it was the starting point for one of the longest-running sci-fi franchises in history. The movie's success paved the way for the iconic TV series Stargate SG-1, 1997 to 2007, followed by Stargate Atlantis, 2004 to 2009, and Stargate Universe, 2009 to 2011. These series not only expanded the Stargate universe but also introduced new characters, mysterious civilizations, and epic adventures. The franchise didn't stop with television. It branched out into novels, comic books, and even video games, building a loyal fan base around the world. What's astonishing is that all of this began with a crazy idea from Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin. From a film that was initially seen as a risky bet, Stargate grew into a cultural phenomenon, inspiring millions and proving that sometimes the boldest stories can lead to the greatest adventures. Stargate isn't just a sci-fi film, it's a gateway to an entire universe of mystery and creativity. From the audacious idea of aliens building pyramids, the movie far exceeded expectations to become the foundation of a 27-year franchise that captivated audiences around the globe. Behind its remarkable success lies a treasure trove of behind-the-scenes stories, bold decisions, and heated controversies that shaped this iconic masterpiece. And even after nearly 3 decades, Stargate continues to live on in the hearts of fans. Not just for its thrilling adventures, but for its ability to spark limitless imagination about the mysteries of the universe and humanity's history. The legacy of Stargate isn't just about a series of popular films and shows, it's about inspiring dreams of worlds far away, where science and mythology collide. And to this day, Stargate remains proof that the boldest stories often lead to the most extraordinary journeys. Thank you for following along. If you love mysterious stories and the Stargate universe, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to explore even more fascinating secrets. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on Stargate. What do you love most about it? See you in the next video.